What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? I'm hoping y'all had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hopefully no DWIs, DUIs, whatever you want to call it. And for all those under 18 or at 18, excuse me, under 21, you can't smoke no more. Damn, that's crazy. But anyways, let's get into this. So I'm not understanding what's going on. I'm reading an article this morning as I'm waking up, and they're saying that Manny Pacquiao is no longer in the runnings for Fighter of the Decade. They have Canelo Alvarez, which everybody knew they was gonna put this boosted dude up there. Manny Pacquiao's out. Replacing him is Andre Ward? Question mark. And then Floyd Mayweather, of course, who should win it in my opinion. Now, I don't understand. How can you put Andre Ward over Manny Pacquiao? I mean, I would argue that you would put Ward over Canelo, but not Pacquiao. There's no way. Like, Andre Ward, what does he have? Okay, let's look at Ward. And I like Andre Ward as a commentator. I like listening to him do interviews. High intellect, articulates himself well, and just very well spoken all the way around and very knowledgeable, right? Most things I agree with him on, some things I disagree with him on. But overall, great commentary and great interviewer anytime he gives interviews. Amazing. But he is not a fighter of the decade. I'm sorry. He had one good thing where he won his boxing tournament. And then after that, he went on to fight Kovalev. We won't count Chad Dawson, as Chad Dawson was weight drained to hell. So, I mean, when he fought Dawson, and Chad Dawson was supposed to be the man, this dominating force, Dawson went in there on the scale looking like a refugee, looking like a skeleton. And then whenever he got into the ring, he just looked void of everything because he was too weight drained. Yes, Chad Dawson did agree to come down, but at the same time, it hindered his body too much. So can you really count that as a win? I guess, but he fought a half-dead Chad Dawson. Same argument I had against Kell Brook fighting Earl Spence. You saw Kell Brook looking just too weight depleted. Looked horrible. But outside of that, moving on. Then you have Ward going against Kovalev, which very controversial, the first one. The first one, I don't know how Ward won that, but to Ward's credit, he did do an immediate rematch, and he came out and knocked Kovalev out, regardless if you think it's low blows or not. He knocked him out, he beat him, and you could take away the low blows, he was still outboxing Kovalev, and Kovalev still looked on his last leg. So regardless of how Kovalev went out, it was just a matter of time that Kovalev was going to go out because Andre Ward had already picked him apart, beat him down, sniped him, and there was nothing left in Kovalev. Kovalev was going to lose. So if you're going to give credit to anybody for beating Kovalev, you give it to Ward, not Canelo. Canelo fought a Kovalev who had already been knocked out twice, who looked horrible against this ain't your yard, boy. Looked horrible against him. And then here you come with the fucking vulture, because that's all Canelo is. He's a fucking vulture. He comes in and takes over the leftovers and gets all the credit in the world for it. And it's just like, if you don't believe he's a vulture, he weight drains all his fucking opponents to where they're like Chad Dawson against Ward, to where they're not going to put up a good offense. He's got so many fucking weight clauses to put everything in his favor that, yes, he does follow the Mayweather blueprint for that, because he's going to get every advantage he can get to win a fight versus just fighting somebody when they're at their best. There shouldn't be no fucking rehydration clause the next day of the fight. Get the fuck out of here. If you feel like you're too small for that weight class, then don't move up. Hell, you bully everybody you fucking fight in middleweight. So when somebody could possibly be bigger than you, you're going to make sure that they can't be bigger than you. Get the fuck out of here with this bullshit. Canelo, to me, is a good fighter. He's not a great fighter. He's the most overhyped, inflated record there is due to so many close fucking wins. I've talked on this before, to where there's a saying that you can't beat Canelo in Vegas because you know he's going to win the scorecards whether he wins or not. There's no way in the first fight against Triple G you could say Canelo beat him. So Canelo's out the argument altogether for me. Not even worthy of being fighter of the decade. Then you're left with Mayweather and who I believe should be against Mayweather, Pacquiao. Now, had Pacquiao not fought Mayweather and lost to Mayweather, I would have Pacquiao as the fighter of the decade at his age, coming back, being a guy who was undefeated, even though he had ring rust, but still a young lion, welterweight. I won't even call him an ex-champion, welterweight champion, because I feel like a champion is a champion until they're beat. Whether you have to vacate belts or not, it's just like in the heavyweights. Tyson Fury is the real heavyweight champion because he's the only one that actually won belts. Deontay Wilder won the vacated WBC belt that was vacated by Klitschko, Vitaly, and AJ won vacated belts that were vacated by Tyson Fury. So there's only one true champion in the heavyweights who won all the belts, and that's Tyson Fury. Now, getting off that, Manny Pacquiao beat a true champion in Keith Thurman. So that puts him up there. But you have to ask yourself, if Manny Pacquiao wasn't the age he was, and if he was young and he beat Keith Thurman, would it be a big deal after the layoff that Keith Thurman had? And I would say no. Nobody would be praising Errol Spence, Bud Crawford, etc. for beating Keith Thurman like Pacquiao did if it was his first fight back. The only reason why Pacquiao is getting praised for that is because of his age. So when age becomes a factor of your greatness, then that, in my opinion, takes away from the greatness. Because it shouldn't be about, oh, he's this old beating this fighter. No, it shouldn't. Because if that fighter got beat by another young fighter, you wouldn't think much of it. You'd just be like, oh, Keith Thurman had a long layoff. You see what I'm saying? I called that fight dust versus ring rust. So dust being Manny Pacquiao, ring rust being Thurman. So my thing is this. When you look at all the checks and balances, and the thing about it is with Mayweather, you can say, okay, his last couple of fights, McGregor, tension, Andre Berto, not the greatest competition towards the end of his career. But people got to keep in mind, Mayweather is older than Pacquiao by, I believe, 2 years. And when he fought Berto and went to retire, he had already beat everybody. You got to understand, when Mayweather beat Berto, this was before your Errol Spence. Errol Spence was still coming up. Bud Crawford wasn't even in that weight class. You had Porter and Thurman was chasing, but still, even then, Thurman was still in that building phase. So there was really, I would say Berto was up there with the best of them when Mayweather retired. So you can't really say that he ran from Keith Thurman, he ran from Porter, because both those guys were still coming up. Now, maybe he could have went out fighting, say, a Bradley, but at that time, I believe Bradley was already done as well. Because after Bradley had his matches with Pacquiao, that was pretty much the end of Bradley's career. So where he went into commentary, which he does great at. But I don't know. Like, so with Mayweather's end of career, people don't want to bring up that there was nobody left. He already cleared out the big names. He already cleared out the division. The last person that he needed to beat was Pacquiao, and he beat him with ease. And all those who are saying that he didn't beat him with ease, how many times did Pacquiao hit him in the fight? Barely any. Pacquiao was chasing Mayweather around the ring, had no idea how to cut off the ring. He kept running into the check hook. Rewatch the fight. Mayweather would hit him with the hook, spin around him, and be in the middle of the ring while Pacquiao's looking confused against the ropes because he just ran into the check hook. Not only that, people keep saying Mayweather ran from Pacquiao the entire fight. That is such a lie. There were so many times in that fight to where Mayweather was just standing still like this in the middle of the ring looking at Pacquiao, and it was Pacquiao who was reluctant to engage. It was Pacquiao who didn't fight in the center of the ring when he had his opportunities, when Mayweather was just looking at him like this in his Philly shell. It was because Mayweather was picking Pacquiao apart. Every time Pacquiao would come forward, Mayweather would hit him. He was getting counterpunched all night. Now, it might not be the fight that the casual fan likes. It might not be the fight that some boxing fans like. But if you've ever fought, if you've understand what's going on in the ring, like the dynamics of fighting, you would say the way that Mayweather beat Pacquiao was artful. It was beautiful because Pacquiao couldn't do anything. Mayweather made Pacquiao look like a 12-round sparring partner. And to do that to Pacquiao, who everybody said was going to beat Mayweather except for me. And it's funny, go way back in time in my playlist. Y'all can see I called the Pacquiao Mayweather fight like a blueprint, like I had saw the future, like I had a crystal ball. I said how Mayweather was going to fight him, how Mayweather was going to beat him, and Mayweather did exactly what I said to the T. And people don't understand there are true levels to boxing. And Mayweather's level is just well beyond Pacquiao's. It's well beyond the guys he's fought. Now, I have my issues with Mayweather. I do feel that Mayweather did not always fight guys when they were at their best. I felt like he caught them early or he caught them too late in their career. He never really fought people at the pinnacle. And just like Canelo's doing now, he tilted everything to be in his favor. Perfect opportunity, perfect timing. You know, to me, that's not the spirit of a true fighter. Now, financially, business genius. But a true fighter, the spirit of true fighting is you want to fight somebody else who's at their best when you're at your best. See, me, whenever I was boxing, my mentality was I want to fight somebody just as good as me. I want to know that I've put all these hours into the gym. I'm at my best that I can be. And I want to know my best is better than your best. And I've never been on a world-class title level due to life and other choices I made, whether it be college, my career, etc. But I can tell you when I was competitive, I never wanted to fight people who were worse than me, who I thought I could roll over. It just doesn't, I don't understand that mindset. Yeah, it's good. Of course, get your money. Everybody needs money because when a fighter is done, fans aren't going to pay their bills. So get as much money as you can. Look out for yourself as much as you can because although the fans are what paid you, the fans aren't going to be there when your career is over. And I agree with that with Mayweather. I agree 1,000%. Get your money. But what I don't agree with is fighting people when they're not at their best. Tilting things to be on your side because the spirit of competition is you should be at your best fighting somebody else at their best. And that proves who the best is. If you beat another best when they're at their worst, then how can you say you're the best? You can't. And that's going to be the asterisk next to Mayweather as he retires and as he's remembered. And that's why he'll never be a Muhammad Ali who took losses. He'll never be a Mike Tyson. He'll never be a Sonny Liston. He'll never be a Joe Louis. Like, he'll never be those guys because those guys fought the best when they were the best. When Muhammad Ali fought George Foreman, everybody thought George Foreman was going to kill him. Ali didn't come there with, oh, wait, we got to fight it this time, this way. I need this much, that. No, he got in there. He created his rope-a-dope. He absorbed the punches, let Foreman punch himself out, and then he beat Foreman by knocking him out. He went in there against a gorilla in the gorilla's domain in the jungle and beat him. He beat him. So that is an all-time great. That is going to be, regardless, Mayweather went undefeated, regardless how many champions, current or ex-champions. Like I said, in boxing is not like it used to be in the era of Ali, early 90s and back when there was a true champion. Now, every weight class, you have 4 major titles, and really, truthfully, you got about 7 lesser titles. Well, 7 titles total, 4 major, 3 lesser. that are all pretty major belts. So there's so many champions that people can pick and choose which champion they want to fight to become a champion. So stylistically, you can say, I'm going to fight this guy, not the true threat, but if I beat this guy and say, get the IBF belt, now I'm a world champion, now I'm the champion. But yet there could be 3 other champions out there with major belts. So it's a lot easier today to become a champion than it used to be. So it doesn't mean as much, in my opinion, unless you do like Bud did and get all the belts. But outside of that, I'm getting on a tangent like I always do. I feel between the competition of 2010 to 2019, Mayweather did the most. Everybody arguing is between Canelo, Pacquiao, Mayweather. Well, out of those 3, only one man beat the other 2. And that's, in fact, out of those 3, only one man beat any one of those 3. And that was Mayweather. Canelo never fought Pacquiao. Pacquiao never fought Canelo. They never beat one another. But Mayweather fought Canelo. Mayweather fought Pacquiao. Mayweather beat Pacquiao. Mayweather beat Canelo. Argument for Canelo is he was too green. Argument for Pacquiao was he was too old. Well, that's stupid because Mayweather's older than Pacquiao, and then Canelo already had 40-something fights. Now, whether they were against cab drivers or not, it doesn't matter. There's still a lot of boxing experience. He got in there, and he couldn't touch Mayweather. I don't believe that at any point in time, I don't think the Canelo today could be a prime Mayweather. I just don't. Mayweather's just levels above him. Levels. Outside of the Castillo fight, I don't even know any really close fights that Mayweather had. I guess you could say Maidana won, although I don't see how people even say Maidana beat Mayweather because Maidana quit throwing punches after like the 5th round. So you can't fight good for the first 5 rounds and then from the 6th round on, quit fighting as hard and expect to win. You've got to win. It's like Bandu Jack, who just fought Pascal. Bandu Jack, if he was born in the 70s, he would probably be the greatest light heavyweight that ever lived because he needs all 15 rounds. Because for the first 6 rounds, he doesn't fight. From the 7th round on, he turns it on so good that he dominates whoever he fights. But for the first 1 through 6, he doesn't throw any punches. And with Maidana, from the 6th to the 12th, he didn't throw that many punches. He didn't have success like he did in the first 5 rounds. And in the second fight, Mayweather again, just like Castillo, came back, dominated him. Mayweather's only supposed loss against Castillo is not a supposed loss. I did a live commentary on that. Castillo is a dirty fighter. He hit Mayweather low. He hit him with forearms. He did all types of dirty stuff against Mayweather. And I can't believe people even claim that Castillo beat him in the first one when I don't care what those punch stats say. Those punch stats cannot be correct. Somebody needs to redo the punch stats on that fight because there's no way that those punch stats are correct. Because from what I saw with my eye calling every punch that landed, and I got the screen of the fight right there beside me, there's no way you're going to be like, oh, he outlanded Mayweather by that much. He didn't. He didn't. The fix was in how they took points away from Mayweather, even though Castillo was being dirty the whole time. Like, the fix was in for that fight, and Mayweather beat Castillo with ease. With all that being said, let's come back full circle. In my opinion, Mayweather is the only one that beat 2 of the trio and the only one that beat any one of the ones in the trio. By default, he's the better fighter because he beat the other 2 front runners, even though they removed Pacquiao and put Ward up there. I don't know how Ward got up there. I saw an interview with Ward, and I forget who the other 2 people were, but he was like, yeah, but we need to talk about Andre Ward. No, we don't need to talk about Andre Ward because Andre Ward didn't do enough to get this. Mayweather, Canelo are the 2 that you have to fight about to see who the best is. The biggest flaw for Mayweather is he had those 3 lesser fights at the end of his career, and he didn't fight all the way through 2019. But at the same time, you got to think about, I'll bring it up again. Rewatch the Austin Trout-Canelo fight. I believe Austin Trout won. The Lara fight should have been a draw. I don't see how Canelo beat Lara. Then you got Triple G 1, where Triple G clearly beat Canelo. And then what's his greatest win? Coming on a half-dead Kovalev? Canelo doesn't have enough there to put him above Mayweather. Too many controversial wins over a guy who blew out the competition, whether you like the way he fights or not. Hit and don't be hit. The art of boxing. Whether you like that or not, whether you like seeing a guy go in there and box, or you love a guy who goes in there and looks like a drunk guy at a bar and just throws punches. Whatever you like, you cannot discredit the boxer who doesn't get touched, because that's truly what boxing is. Nobody wants to take damage. Nobody likes getting beat up, and it's stupid to go in there and take unnecessary damage, like in general. I don't care if you're a Mike Tyson who can knock people out. I don't care if you're a pillow puncher that just swarms people. It is stupid to take punches you don't need to take. That's just dumb. And Mayweather excelled in not taking punches. And because of that, he's the best of this era. Maybe not of the past, like I said earlier, but there is no doubt that Mayweather isn't the best of 2010 to 2019. And I was saying for his entire era, he is the best fighter, because the only other best fighter in his era is Pacquiao. And when he beat Pacquiao, there was no more argument. Mayweather is the best of this era. Pacquiao lost to him. You cannot be better than somebody who beat you. I'll say it again, because there's still an argument. You cannot be better than somebody that beat you. And don't claim, oh, he had a shoulder injury, when this motherfucker went swimming in salt water and said salt water healed him. On that note, I'm ending this video. I had Mayweather, the fighter of the decade, because of the reason I stated. And I don't even know how Andre Ward got in there over Manny Pacquiao when Manny Pacquiao should be a front runner. Thank y'all for watching. And again, I hope y'all are having a happy new year and y'all had a Merry Christmas, got a lot of presents, or gave out a lot of presents. Y'all have a good one.